Oluwole Soyinka. Born Akiwande Oluwole Babatunde Soyinka on July 13, 1934, in Abeokuta, Ogun State, southwest Nigeria, stands as one of Africa's most celebrated literary figures and a global icon of resistance against oppression. His life and works reflect an unwavering commitment to justice, culture, and the transformative power of art. Soyinka was born into a Yoruba family in colonial Nigeria, an environment that exposed him to both traditional African culture and Western education. His father, Samuel Ayodele Soyinka, was a school headmaster, while his mother, Grace Eniola Soyinka, was a devoted Anglican. This blend of indigenous and colonial influences deeply shaped Soyinka's world. Soyinka attended Government College Ibadan and later proceeded to the University College Ibadan, where he studied English and literature. Soyinka completed his education at the University of Leeds in England, earning a degree in English and later a doctorate degree. In the late 1950s, Soyinka began working as a dramaturgist at the Royal Court Theatre in London. However, his passion for storytelling and cultural preservation drew him back to Nigeria, where he founded two theatre groups known as the 1960 Masks and the Orisun Theatre Company. Soyinka's works, often a fusion of Western dramatic techniques and African themes, address universal issues of justice, freedom, and human dignity. His early play, titled A Dance of the Forest, which was introduced in 1960, written to celebrate Nigeria's independence, critically examined the nation's socio-political trajectory, setting the tone for his career as both artist and activist. Soyinka's activism became more visible during Nigeria's post-independence years. In 1967, during the Nigerian Civil War, he called for a ceasefire between federal forces and Biafran separatists. This led to his arrest by the military government, and he spent 22 months in prison, where he wrote a short drama titled The Man Died, Prison Notes, a harrowing account of his imprisonment and a profound critique of authoritarianism. Soyinka has authored more than 20 works, including plays, novels, poetry, and essays. In 1986, Soyinka became the first African to win the Nobel Prize of Literature, an achievement that brought global recognition to African literature. Soyinka remained an outspoken critic of oppressive regimes, often at great personal risk. His activism extended beyond Nigeria, addressing global issues of injustice and human rights. During periods of military rule in Nigeria, he went into exile, continuing to write and speak against tyranny. Today, Soyinka is celebrated not only as a literary giant, but also as a symbol of resilience and moral courage.
The Nigerian National Medicine Development Agency, NNMDA, was created in 1997 and backed by Act 2019 to enable the federal government of Nigeria through Federal Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation actualize its critical and strategic mandates to research, develop, document, preserve, conserve, and promote Nigeria's natural medicine, defined as indigenous medicine. 4 Director Generals had steered the affairs of the agency since its creation 28 years ago. A new vista, however, opened in the history of the existence of the agency when Martins Emeje, a distinguished pharmacist and professor of nanotechnology, was appointed as the 5th Director General and Chief Executive Officer in May 2023. Before taking on the mantle of leadership at the NNMDA, Professor Martins Emeje was the Chair R&D at the National Institute for Pharmaceutical Research and Development, with many feats on drug formulation and R&D results to his credit.
I deliberately applied for this job. There was advertisement. I applied. I wrote the exam. It was an online exam. Nobody saw anybody. And 1 hour exam online. when you submit your answer sheet, you have a copy of the answer sheet that you have. So I have the copy of the answer that I submitted online that day, and that is my manifesto. So every month, I look at the answers that I submitted, and it guides me in the work that I do. As a researcher and proudly the first and only research fellow in Nigeria who is heading a research institute, I know exactly the problems of R&D in Nigeria, because nobody in Nigeria has or is currently heading a research institute, and he went through the rank and file from being a trainee researcher to an intern researcher, an NYSC researcher, and then a research professor. This is the background that I have.
Call him a round peg in a round hole, and you won't be wrong, as he hit the ground running, leaving a lot of innovations on his trail, achieving great strides in the areas of education, agriculture, and health, thereby raising the bar in R&D in natural medicine for the agency. From May 2023, when he was appointed, within just a few months, 4 oral solid dosage formulation products were unveiled.
My greatest moment actually happened on 8th of March 2024, when the Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Chief Uche Naji, came to Lagos in the campus of NNMDA here to launch 4 oral solid dosage forms. It was not just the first time it was happening in NNMDA, the very first time it was happening in Nigeria. We decided that we will go for education as a major target, as a major KPI. And we went for it aggressively and got accreditation to start a 2-year national diploma in natural medicine. So this agency, for the first time in Nigeria, we now have a school of natural medicine. It's never been heard before. It happened in this administration within these 2 years. Within these 2 years too, because the country saw that we had made explosive advancement in this area, we got upgraded to what we call an awarding body for national skills acquisition in traditional medicine. One of the best medicinal gardens that you can find in Africa right now is in this country, owned by the Nigerian Natural Medicine Development Agency, and we did this these 2 years. In fact, two of our products that is waiting for Mr. President launch was we got our raw materials from our Nasarawa State Farm in Karo. Nigeria is the largest producer of cassava in the world. Cassava. The only country that competes with Nigeria is Brazil. Yet, Nigeria does not have value-added cassava products. Yet, Nigeria imports starch to make pharmaceutical products. We made a presentation to the National Assembly, and the Senate of our National Assembly supported us. So we went into development of pharmaceutical grade starch. Today, we have pharmaceutical grade starch. In health itself, we have developed and submitted to NAFDAC about 23 different products. 23. And they are all at advanced stage of NAFDAC's regulatory assessment at this point. Now, 3 of such products plus 5 of what we did the previous years is available, and people, because we are a research institution not capacitated or competent by reason of mandate and skilling to do marketing, we do proof of concept, and we wait for entrepreneurs of pharmaceutical industries, nutraceutical industries, food industries to come take them to the market, right? But we also owe, because, like I said, The huge component of the renewed hope agenda is that people should be attended to so that they know that they cannot lose their hope completely in their country. So in this environment, anybody who wants drug for hypertension, for malaria, for erectile dysfunction, for arthritis, for diabetes, for hepatitis, for about at least 8 different disease areas, they come to our pharmacy here to get the drugs.
The past 2 years, under the leadership of Professor Martins Emeje, has seen human capacity development like never before. A development that propelled the agency's researchers into breaking new ground.
This agency had never, in its almost 30 years of existence, had never participated in any local conference where researchers went with work they did in their own laboratory to go make competitive presentation. In our maiden outing in these 2 years, we won 2 awards. We went out for the first time and we got 2 awards. We took first position and we took third position. That is gold and bronze. When I came, I met researchers that have been here working for 15 years but with 1 degree. And I told them, you can't be a researcher with 1 degree. So I embarked on rigorous and aggressive drive to partner and collaborate with investors. So we went into that. Today, as I'm talking to you, we have at least 13 researchers and of the agency that are doing different postgraduate studies in different universities in Nigeria. I have a staff that was in Zimbabwe for 6 months. Now he has a master's in intellectual property. At least 7 of my staff have gone to India.
Quality assurance has been one of the top priorities of the NNMDA Director General and the accreditation of the agency's laboratory and product development unit for pharmacy internship program by the Pharmacy Council of Nigeria a year ago. Under the watch of Professor Martins Emeje, the agency recently graduated its pioneer pharmacy interns.
I went into nanotechnology or nanosciences after PhD, and I had to go out of the country to train in this area for more than 4 years. So it's an area that I'm keen about. I'm one of the first people, if not the first, in Nigeria to have put in practice nanotechnology. What it has done to me as someone who studied Western pharmacy, which is more like macro study, it is that it has taught me how to manage resources, no matter how simple.
The last 2 years has seen NNMDA signing important memoranda of understanding with reputable academic institutions and other critical stakeholders in the areas of training and laboratory services to Nigerian universities. As part of its advocacy and public enlightenment drive, the agency brought together critical stakeholders in the nation's natural medicine space for a national dialogue on rethinking natural medicine aimed at galvanizing the needed support and political will.
I want the president of Nigeria to just be coming on television and saying that people, natural medicine, no other thing. Natural medicine, let's do our own. Let's do our own. Let him just be saying it. Anytime he's talking to press, let him say it. Because once people know that this is where the president is, this is where his mind is, this is what his body language is, they will start investing in natural medicine.
A turning point for the agency was the resolution of the National Assembly on Natural Medicine Gazette. The visit by the chairman, House Committee on Legislative Compliance, was a further demonstration of the renewed impetus.
We cannot have 160 million people subscribing to something, and then the remaining 40 million people, you now want to say that foreign medicine, what you call allopathic medicine, that is the superior to our natural medicine. No, it's not. So when the House of Representatives passed that resolution, I told myself, I have now achieved. So what I was thinking would take me 4 years to achieve, actually, we got it done in 2 years. And it's one of the, so our target has actually increased. The best place to actually functionalize or operationalize Renew Hope agenda, Mr. President, is in the health sector. It's in the health sector. And I always tell people, 2 things that if you have security in it, then you are safe. Food and medicine. Any intervention, any project that we do, that it is not about developing our own indigenous resources, is short-term. It's not sustainable. The only sustainable form of development is indigenous development. So anybody who wants to give me support now, I will just tell you what I want. For example, I want all my staff to live in this compound. If you go to other countries of the world, all the staff of the research institution, they live inside the compound.
Inspiring a new mindset among staff and attitude to work for the NNMDA Director General, the task of achieving the mandate and the vision of the agency is work in progress.
We're going to have increase in the number of facilities that we will visit in the year 2025 by 30%, that would have improved compliance and enhancement of data-driven decision-making using data analytics, that we're going to strengthen collaboration between our partners, and we're going to have 25% increase in our compliance rates by carrying out the key strategies. We want to expand our monitoring coverage. We want to enhance our digital infrastructure by integrating a secure online pathway. We also want to include the e-learning platform and our mobile platforms on the digital infrastructure. We want to strengthen our community engagement and build capacity of both the farmer staff and our partners. We want to drive innovation and research. This year, we want to carry out research on quality of care. In doing all of this, we want to make the health facilities in Lagos safer by leveraging on technology and ensuring that all our processes are data-driven. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Onoriede, Dr. Nibo Shinowo, Dr. Veronica Iwayemi, and Dr. Abiola Idowu. Your Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, the Honorable Minister of State for Health, Dr. Isiaq Salako. Taking us further in a comparative study, I want to especially welcome a professor and consultant medical parasitologist at the College of Medicine, University of Lagos. He coordinates the International Malaria Microscopy, RDT Quality Assurance Center, as well as the country's World Health Organization malaria specimen collection sites in the College of Medicine, University of Lagos. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's put our hands together for Professor Wellington Oyibo for the very short comparative study. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, His Excellency, Executive Governor of Lagos State, the Honorable Minister of Health, here represented here by the Minister of State for Health. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, this is historic for us. This is a path we have planned, prayed for, and we are happy that it is happening. Mr. Governor, thank you for all you do and for making this happen myself. I'm so happy and grateful to the Honorable Commissioner of Health. He has told the story. So I'm going to build on those stories as I make this presentation. Don't have much time. And part of the whole thing is the advances that Lagos State has made for over 2 decades. The world is hearing it, and the signature of these projects through the impact project itself, which is calibrated around the impacts that this project will be again for Lagos State. My slide, please. So what we know about malaria, in the 15th century, why was it called malaria? It was called malaria because the cause of that fever illness was not known. And it was connected to marshy waters. So malaria in Greek is foul. And that was all they could do. And it took some another 100 years before it was connected to mosquito bites. And today we are talking about fever and say all fevers are malaria. So are we going to the 15th century? And this is what we're trying to really unbundle in Lagos as 16 over 50 million people. My slides. So if fever is still malaria, we go back to the 15th century. And then, of course, for evidence base, meant that we will have to quickly provide the evidence. Can I have the slide up? Yes. So the horrible, let me just pull it out from here. So I've given this background. Most health workers will not accept the test results when it's negative. And that's the challenge. Next slide, please. Okay, and if you don't have data, which we are talking about digitization, you cannot calibrate where you are. And so if you look at the entire program and the plan of the projects, is to see that real-time data is available and that tests are done. And when the test is done, we can say quickly, cost-effectively, this is where we are. Because you can get the rely on routine data. The country do not have quality data, and that's the challenge. Next slide. So low confidence in the test. Basic things are being used. Lagos is making progress. How do we handle this? 94 to 96% of the reporting for malaria in the DHIS that categorizes states and Nigeria comes from the primary healthcare center and is from the public sector. It's important to recognize this. Next slide. I will bring in this on board because we provide the quality platform for quality diagnosis at the College of Medicine. Next slide. And we do all of this carefully to ensure that these tests are good to be used for humans. Next slide. And what is known? Please just keep on going on the slide because I'll just go through them. There are changes in Nigeria in terms of malaria epidemiology. Next slide. And then we see from the 2021 malaria indicator survey where Lagos is. Next slide. And you can see where we are here at 2.6%. Hopeful. And next slide. Good progress. And we're talking about the path for pre-elimination. We have that path. And we are happy that this is being mentioned here today. And like I said, this signature. And in line with the stratification strategy and subnational tailoring by WHO. So we are quite on course on this. Next slide. And then you can see the different tests available. You can keep on hitting enter. You have microscopy that is powered by a human being. And then you have this rapid diagnostic test that is technology. But somehow we refuse to accept technology and we stay with humans with all the challenges. So that's what you see with microscopy. Just keep on pressing enter and all of this. And this is the test 15 minutes, the result is out. The other one will take any time. It will be 1 day. And then based on that, we have done the scoping assessment of facility in Lagos.
Recent times, cosmetic clinics. So we're finding it difficult. We have limited capacity to ensure monitoring of these facilities. We also have inefficient manual processes because our digital platform is unable to carry out some of the processes in the agency. We're sitting on a lot of data in the agency.
With AI to make sure that the test is actually having the results that the pharmacy or PPMD says it does. We then verify that the treatment, the appropriate treatment. And then in the impact program, we have to the public health system for malaria-negative patients to ensure that they're getting the proper diagnosis that they need and have a better understanding of what other febrile illnesses patients might have. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay, so I'll just talk briefly about all of the other partners that are working on this as well. So we are working closely, of course, with the Lagos State Ministry of Health, which envisioned this work and brought us in to support on this, with NMEP, which is overseeing the work and providing technical oversight, with WHO, which is providing, again, technical support and facilitation, and then importantly with our private sector partners as well, so PCN, which is doing quite a bit of the regulatory oversight and ensuring the quality of care in a pharmacy setting, with SFH, which is enabling the supply chain, and then of course with LASHMA, which is to go quickly into the final results on why this is improved quality of care. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. So the work is providing network expansion, innovative financing, integrated health systems, supply chain resilience, comparative research, and regulatory reform, leveraging all of these different partners that we've mentioned to ensure that patients are able to access quality care and that the data is being provided back to Lagos State to help improve regulatory support, policy, and other things. I've mentioned the partners that we have here already, but we're very grateful for all of the work that they are providing to ensure that there's quality of care in the private sector. And then finally, one final slide. To reinforce what Dr. Wellington said earlier, the work that is being done is also to be supporting with testing, understanding the difference between rapid tests and microscopy, to support on policy reform to ensure that rapid tests are always done before treatment for malaria in Lagos State. Thank you all so much, and we're very excited to be a part of this.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jessica Venon, the CEO, Maishemets. Ladies and gentlemen, taking us further, Nina Ogunlafo. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Your Excellency, sir. We're very happy that this is happening today. So just permit me to do something unique in terms of our focus for malaria control in Nigeria. To do this, I will call on Dr. Dao, Country Director for Volta. We're going to have the Honorable Minister interested for malaria. Honorable Minister, please. Thank you very much. This is showcasing the main focus for malaria control in Nigeria, which we refer to as the 3 T's. Your Excellency, the first T stands for tests. We cannot overemphasize or we cannot underscore the importance of that. The second T, sir, is for treatment. is happening, sir. Please, thank you very much.
We are witnessing leadership by example. Leadership by example by Mr. Governor, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, as well as the Honorable Minister of State for Health, Dr. Salako. Please, let's appreciate them. That is the way to go for every one of us all.
Thank you very much, Your Excellencies. So again, this is the way to go for malaria control program in Nigeria. The pre-elimination in Nigeria could commence in phases. We could commence pre-elimination in Nigeria in phases. Thank you, Your Excellencies. Thank you. So back to the fourth bullet on my slide. Your Excellencies, pre-elimination in Nigeria could be commenced in phases. It could start with the states, Lagos State, for example, and we could go geopolitical zones. So I was sitting with my sister, the Commissioner of Health from Ogun State. So the fever for pre-elimination have started. So I also want to say that it stands on Lagos State to make sure that this pathway for pre-elimination is properly done. The National Malaria Elimination Program is waiting to take the experiences and the processes that Lagos will use to achieve elimination to be replicated in other states. Your Excellencies, it's important to note that right now we have a couple of states under 10% prevalence in the country, and those states are Anambra, Kwara, and Rivers State. So what is happening in Lagos that has been flagged off today, it's like NMEP, it's poised to take what these processes and experiences are to states like that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma. Let's appreciate her. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Mr. Governor, sir, Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohammed Ali Pate, who has been ably represented here today by the Honorable Minister of State for Health, Dr. Isiaq Adekunle Salako. A round of applause for him, please.
Your Excellency, the excellent Governor of the Center of Excellence, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu. I must recognize my brother, who is one who has summoned all of us here today, the Honorable Commissioner for Health for Lagos State. All members of the Lagos State Cabinet here present, our partners, WHO, World Bank, distinguished stakeholders in the health sector, gentlemen of the press. Because of time, they will say all protocols to be extended. We cannot keep the governor for malaria alone. He has to attend to water, to road, to several other things. So I will shorten my speech, but I must say that today I'm wearing two caps. You may not see it physically. Standing in for myself, and also standing in for my brother, the coordinating minister for health and social welfare, Professor Pate, who is unable to attend because of other assignments. I am most delighted to be at this auspicious occasion of the launch of the Pathway to Malaria Pre-Elimination and Digitization Program in the Center of Excellence, Lagos State, led by His Excellency the Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu. I recall that Lagos State pioneered intensive malaria case management in the early 2000s through the Eco-Free Malaria Initiative under the leadership of now our President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the then Governor. I am most delighted to be here today to be part of another pioneering initiative now under Governor Babatunde Sanwo-Olu as Lagos State takes the lead in the agenda to end malaria by 2030. Your Excellency, the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare is elated with this giant stride, which aims to improve malaria diagnosis, case management, and accurate tracking of cases through the integration of digital health solutions in the form of real-time electronic reporting systems, all targeted at further reduction in the burden of malaria and its eventual elimination from our land. This momentous project will not only set a track for malaria pre-elimination in Lagos State, but in Nigeria at large, thereby once again making Lagos State a trailblazer. I want to emphasize that this project is in line with the renewable agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the renewed vigor for the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare on the Rethinking Malaria concept that was launched in April 2024 and is aimed at fast-tracking the malaria elimination goal through strategic shifts. We have continued to make progress in this regard, and the inauguration of the advisory on malaria elimination in Nigeria, AMEN, the development of pragmatic costed plan of action, the expansion of permanent healthcare facilities, training of frontline health workers, and the initiation of domestication of affordable medicine facilities for malaria to make malaria treatment more affordable are all testament to the progress we are making. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Ministry is taking these steps in order to reverse the undesirable trend of being the highest burden malaria endemic country globally, accounting for 37% and 31% of cases and deaths respectively. I am confident that the Lagos State possesses the needed attributes that can help drive Nigeria to malaria elimination through such case-setting initiatives like this program. Furthermore, Lagos has been consistently the lowest malaria prevalence state in Nigeria, as evidenced from all the malaria indicator survey conducted in the country, with the most recent result in 2021 showing 2% prevalence, hence indicating a tendency of attaining pre-elimination when concerted and consolidated efforts are put in place. I wish to report that the challenge of let me use this opportunity to call on all stakeholders not to relent on their support towards this impactful intervention, which will contribute significantly to the drive at eliminating malaria from the world. Nigeria is ever committed to this drive and will continue to toe the path of global best practices. I wish to assure all Nigerians and our partners that the change in the policy of the United States government with respect to global health funding will not adversely affect our malaria elimination programs and other public health initiatives, as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR has approved a robust mechanism to ensure adequate and cost-effective funding for our public health programs. I call on all state governments to join hands with the federal government to ensure that our country becomes self-sustaining in the funding of our public health programs. Before I end this address, let me commend once again and appreciate His Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and his health team, led by Professor Akin Abayomi, for initiating and executing this laudable innovative project. I wish to also sincerely appreciate all the partners, World Bank, WHO, all the implementers, especially for providing the needed human resources, technical support, and the funding for the implementation of this initiative. I wish all of us a successful launch of this impactful project as a springboard for the elimination of malaria from our country. Thank you, and God bless the federal government.
Distinguished invited guests, Your Excellencies, Honorable Minister of State, have your results. I'm pleased to say that Honorable Minister of State, we will not be confining you in a bed in Lagos. Your result is negative. When patients go to clinics and the doctors tell you that they've performed a test, it is your responsibility as a patient to see the test. Please ask for the test and take a picture of it and have a record on your phone. My governor, the Excellency of Lagos State, I'm pleased to tell you that you may continue with your duties. Congratulations, sir. Negative, and the low prevalence of malaria in Lagos has chart a course to pre-elimination. Thank you very much for your support, both the Honourable Minister and our Governor and members of the Lagos State Executive Council. Mr. Governor, if you would like to approach the podium to give your keynote and to launch a pathway to malaria elimination in Lagos.
Practitioner himself and a strong politician, Dr. Souq. Thank you very much for finding out. Members of the State Executive Council, especially Professor Akin Abayomi, and Special Advisor on Health. Thank you very much. Other cabinet members, all the permanent secretaries in the Health Ministry, and several of you that are here. Thank you very much for taking our time. The country director for the World Bank, Dr. Diop, the country representative for the WHO, Dr. Walter, all of our partners that are here, MyShamed, Impact, SFH, the National Malaria Organization, our friends from our neighboring state, the Honorable Commissioner for Health in Ogun State, thank you. All of our health practitioners, the stakeholders that are here, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. When you are asked to come forward and conduct a test that you did not psych yourself for, what will happen is you quickly raise, your brain will raise back and say, have I been feeling unwell? What is going to happen? It just brought us back 5 years during COVID, and they said that they're going to do a COVID test. It was like, the heart was going to open and you don't know what will be the outcome. But you see, it's an important activity that we need to continue to subject ourselves to. You might think it's a simple thing, but it's so important. And that ability for you to come forward, if it has turned positive, what it will have just meant is that we need to make a treatment. It's not a death penalty, but it's really just for all of us to know that we need to do this thing and we need to be able to come forward transparently at all times and let us end all of these things that we don't want again in our sight. Thank you very much. And so it's an honor that I stand before all of you in this room are very strategic to launch the first in the country, another Lagos first, the pathway to malaria pre-elimination and digitalization program. We're here to affirm our commitment to safeguarding lives and the livelihood of every Lagosian. Malaria is more than a disease. It's a socio-economic burden that has held back individuals, it has held back families and communities for such a long time. It robs us of our productivity, it drains us of our household incomes. And for many households in Lagos, especially those modest earners, malaria, the name it alone, brings shivers. It reduces their earning and reduces their ability to continue to earn more for their family. And so this financial strain often affects families and a lot of times causes heartbreaks and the rest of it. But we're here to put a stop or to even bring a voice to the step at which we want to eliminate that completely. It has affected school children from going to school. It has affected businesses. It has seen a whole lot of absenteeism and a lot of challenges in our society for several decades. But today, we have to change all of that narrative. The eradication of malaria is not just a good health news. It is indeed an economic imperative. It's a good news that all of us must beat our chest and be able to carry, if there's a pin, that we need to have, a pre-elimination, the campaign for it, we need to have it and we need to be able to dot it everywhere. We know from statistics how much malaria has cost our GDP, billions and billions of dollars. Imagine what Lagos could achieve with a lot of resources if we're able to eliminate all of this. We no longer have to choose between survival and opportunity. Imagine a Lagos where every child can attend school uninterrupted because of ill health, or an adult can contribute fully to the economy. And one thing that is instructive was the demonstration of the slide by Professor Akambam, and I saw others as well. I can see that Prof already has a side job in animation and cartooning. It's a job that he can conveniently retire into. And the narratives were very clear. But the message was very, very transparently done. And all of us, in one form or the other, are guilty of this. You feel unwell, you think you have a fever, the next thing is you are diagnosing yourself with malaria. Very easy. Just give me injection. Just give me this tablet. I know what it is. We are all, self-diagnosing ourselves and self-telling ourselves that that is what it can only be and that is what it is. So just give us. But we can see that with knowledge and with communication, a lot of all of those negative things, you can rewrite them. And so this program represents a hope rooted on innovation, collaboration, and determination by leveraging digital tools that will ensure that every malaria case is tracked in real time. This is digital. Long are those days when you need to take a whole full blood from your body to just do a simple malaria test. I was asking for my bottle of Martina because those days when they take your blood test, they must replenish it with a bottle of Martina. But you can see that with just a small prick, and in no time you can actually. That's what digital life, has done. And so it has helped us by strengthening partnership with the private sector. We will expand access for quality care. It will help communities to have the knowledge and resources. It will build a culture of preventing that leaves no one behind. And that's a message we need to come out of from here. All of us sitting in this room must immediately turn ourselves into an advocate, into a cheerleader, to be able to carry this message forward, to be able to tell everybody that needs to know. Go into our communities, pass on this message that this pre-elimination launch program has started, and it's for all of us to see it, to buy into it, and to work with it. The benefit of eradicating malaria goes beyond just health. In malaria-free Lagos, and indeed in future, in malaria-free Nigeria, it's achievable in our time, and we've all put our minds to it. It's something that could be done. We believe that if we can eliminate it, it will increase productivity, it will improve educational outcomes for our children, it will reduce considerably our health costs. It would also enhance quality of life. I mean, all of these points speaks to a better livability standards, in all indices. And so this vision, though ambitious, I believe is achievable. It requires, therefore, all of us, government agencies, healthcare practitioners, healthcare providers, community leaders, development partners, and indeed all citizens to work together with an unwavering resolve. Success will not come overnight, but will be sustained effort and collaborative action we will prevail. You saw the slides that a farmer and the lady on malaria and the lady on immunization. You saw the statistics between January and February, what the run rate should be. Yes, we will say that, this is just March, but we need to be able to double those numbers. We need to push those numbers to be able to achieve the 2025 target. We need to be able to push and achieve, because there is no magic to it. If your target is 2 million, and at the end of February we are still doing less than 200,000, we are doing far, far less. So you need to double, your spike shoots. You need to work harder, twice as fast, twice as much, for you to achieve the 2025 record. And Doctor told us, Prof told us from WHO that it's 2025, they are going to close the envelope. Hello? Yes, they said they are going to close it. And there's a 20, where is it? I thought it was, they're going to close it. Our target is that we'll have to take that $20 million. We'll have to do everything to make sure that we'll meet the criteria very, very quickly. Because if it's something that we've all said we want to do, then everybody must be on the same page. I want to commend the farmer and all the ladies that came forward transparently to show us those data. And what we need to do is we don't need to wait in October before we now cry. We need to be able to track this thing on a month-on-month basis. So I want to thank all of you. I want to thank our partners, the World Health Organization, the World Bank, the National Malaria Elimination Program. Our community pharmacists are here, all of our pharmaceutical associations are here. Thank you very much. Our various private and public hospitals, and all of you that are here for your valuable support and making this initiative possible. Of course, permit me to thank in absentia our very hardworking Honorable Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohammed Al-Pate. Our best regards and our best wishes to him. We know all of the things that he has brought about in his tenure as the Honorable Minister of Health. We wish him well. We are also tracking and monitoring, all of his deliverables, so that we can say at the end of the day, in your time, you did all of this. And to also thank the Honorable Minister of State for cooperating and operations with the Honorable Minister. We believe that if you do all of these things and you do them well, your time, your time in that ministry will be written in gold, and Nigerians will forever be grateful, because we know that you are pushing everything to ensure that we save over 1 million lives, and you're doing so many things, so many big health initiatives. I want to wish you well. To Dr. Diop, our country director for the World Bank, thank you for your invaluable support at all times, funding your technical assistance. We believe it will continue to catalyze our health initiative. To our country director on the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Mr. Uche, whose organization's investment has been pivotal to malaria control. We say a big thank you. Dr. Walter, our WHO country representative, we believe that your expertise and advocacy capacity has helped us to push this forward. Thank you very, very much. To all of our partners, Marshall Nets, who I met last week, I did promise, I said I'll be here in person. And to all of our other partners, please, let's see this as a start to work. It's only when we achieve what we have said for ourselves that we have done the job. They don't pay people for attempts. They pay people for results. And it's the result that is important. It's the result that takes us to that final breaking point in which we all can say that, yes, we've done our best, we've contributed what we've needed, and we've seen the results. I believe that we have everything to make it work. We believe we have all it takes to eliminate malaria completely in Lagos State. I want to congratulate our own Ministry of Health, congratulating ourselves is telling you that you have a lot more to do, Prof, and all of you. But I will be watching, and I will do everything to continue to encourage you. And as a demonstration of that encouragement, I was whispering to Prof that I will also do something different. I will be promoting Dr. Idu as a permanent secretary. Clapping means that she's going to work twice as much. All the very hard work you're doing. To my fellow Lagosians, fight belongs to each of us. Let us embrace a preventive measure like eliminating mosquitoes, adapt, test before treatment. And I think that is the message we need to take away. All of our pharmaceutical establishment ensure that we can pass this message. Test before treatment. It is so important that we do not just take this for granted. Let us ensure that we can take this advocacy into our communities, into our nooks and crannies, and show truly really that once we have started this campaign in Lagos, go around every part of the city. We can rewrite the history of malaria in Lagos, and it is in our hand. It's all of us in this room that can help. I want to wish you all the very best, and I believe that when we work together, there's absolutely nothing that we cannot achieve together. Thank you very much.
Mr. Governor, sir, may I please your indulgence, Councillor President?
She thought I really didn't like her. She was frowning her face one day. It was between her eye and her eye. This pre-examination launch of malaria from Lagos State. Pathway to Malaria Pre-Ignition and Sterilization Program in Lagos. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Mr. Governor, sir, may I crave your indulgence to quickly invite this Honorable Commissioner for Health, Special Advisor on Health and Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, to join you for the first photo op.
to join the executive governor, actors from the Federal Ministry of Health, all the directors that have accompanied the Minister of State for Health, all the directors in the Federal Ministry.
Foundation. Please, can you please recognize that she's present. Please let the hands together for her. Thank you so much. Ushers, please, I'll need to be on standby to see many of my guests and not seated where they should be, so that they can let me do that. All right. I think we have, I don't know if we have the founder of the Builders Transact yet. Okay. The legal state manager for Small and Medium Enterprise Development Agency of Nigeria, SMEDA, Dr. Olukumi Odekaudu, still on his way. Mr. Tunji Oke, co-founder of Get Funded Africa Technologies, still on his way. Dr. Itausa of Souq, that's the general manager of Souqnews. You are recognized as well. Mr. Shino Banikeshi is here with us, the managing director of Goxie Micro Insurance Bank. You're welcome. So, round of applause. Can you wave your hands so that we do like here with us? Thank you so much. Please, ushers. Yes. Can you get me moving to its appropriate seat? Thank you so much. Mrs. Tino Olatunsin Ajayi, as one ambassador, former president, Association of Professional Women Bankers. All right, still on our way. Mr. Richard Imonije, regional manager, Bank of Industry. You're most welcome. A round of applause for him. Thank you so much. Right, we're still expecting the representative from SON, NAFDAC, and the Raw Material Research and Development Council of Nigeria. If you have the representative, please let us know. All right. Okay. I think it's safe to move on while we await other guests that are meant to take their seat here today. But meanwhile, while we do that, please let me at this point in time announce to us that this event once again is put together by ASBON, Association of Business Owners of Nigeria, in collaboration with the Lagos State Ministry of Commerce, Trade, Industry, Cooperative and Investment. And we are here today. It's going to be a record-breaking event for you. This is your first time. Please, this is your first time. Please, can you wave your hand? This is your first time. Oh, wow, we have first time here. Wow. Well, don't worry, we'll serve you a drink now. That's the first time, don't worry. But that's what we do in church, is yes or yes. First time honors, don't worry. Because you get a drink, you're not raising your hand. You didn't raise it before. Because you had to be entertained, there's no problem. Alright, everyone of us will be entertained here today. We have our sponsors and brand. Many of them. We have Souq Bank, which is the lead sponsor, the platinum category, and of course, 7-Up will be company makers of Pepsi. That's why you see Pepsi outside there. So please don't worry, we will be duly entertained. Bank of Industry, Adosa, Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, Souqnews, Goxie Micro Insurance Company, the CRC Credit Bureau Limited, and of course, yes, these are some of our sponsors. And at this point in time, I think it's important that we know why we are doing this. For 5 consecutive years, this organization have ensured that this event is put together to celebrate stakeholders who are adding value to the small and medium enterprises in Nigeria. and to shed more light, to give us more insight as to why they've been consistent with this event. Please, I would like to invite no other person than the lead convener, the president of the Association of Small Business Owners of Nigeria, a great visionary, a great pathfinder. Please, let's celebrate Dr. Femi Egbesola. Please permit me to stand on existing protocols for the special mention of the Executive Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Souq, the Executive Governor of State Prince Dr. Abiodun, the Commissioner for Commerce, Cooperative Trade and Investment, Mrs. Olashade Amosu-Bidebe, the Honorable Commissioner for Commerce, Industry, Trade and Investment, State, Mr. Souq and Bola, and other heads of ministries, departments, and agencies represented and sure that I am aware that the DD of Federal being represented here. I will please have this stand up for recognition. Okay, thank you very much. I will fail me if I want to mention everybody has ought to be mentioned. Every one of us is involved. I would like to start very seriously. It's given us to have for today. Daily prayer coming out times we here. And of course, our panelists, quite a number of them are already around. Thank you so much for being here today. The commissioner will soon be here to give a speech. But before then, we're going to go down to my speech, which is to give the opening address. So, on behalf of the Association of Small Business Owners of Nigeria, in collaboration with the Lagos State Ministry of Commerce, Cooperative Industry and Investment, I warmly welcome you to the Nigerian National MSME Business Awards. This is the 5th edition, and it is designed to celebrate, appreciate, and enable and supporters of the MSME ecosystem. We have created a platform to say thank you for supporting us in all areas, institutions, governments, development partners, and the rest. And it is our desire to find a way to create a platform to recognize and appreciate. That's the essence of this award event. And at the same time, it's not just about appreciating them, it's about pushing them to do more. The award program is designed to say, please, we want you to. So today, it's not just about appreciating, it's about also encouraging them to support us to do more. We are kids, the MSMEs, we are kids, we need all the push, we need all the support. Everyone in the ecosystem can give to us. We also want to thank our sponsors that we are today all of us, without the sponsors, we also thank the media and of course, every other person, including my own immediate community, as one man and women. Members of our phone, I think they are by this side, right? Please celebrate them. Let's put our hands together for them. The drivers of the economy, yes or yes. I think you guys have a slogan, as one start small, wow. Is that it? Can you get that? You know it. Wow. Amazing. As one start small, grow big. See, it's very important, especially the last one. You want to start now. Many ideas are probably died in the heads of the conceivers, like, I will start tomorrow. I have this idea, and yet you never have the opportunity to start. So it's very important. Start now. God bless you for consistently putting this together. You are indeed the drivers of the economy, and we celebrate what you are doing under the able leadership of the President, Dr. Femi Egbesola. Very energetic man. I don't know where he gets energy from. See, yesterday he was still reaching out, putting the dots on the I's, crossing the T's, ensuring everything is on point. God bless you. I love your meticulousness. There's so much I'm learning from you, sir. God bless you, sir. Thank you so much. All right, on this note, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, once again, it's still the 5th SME Business Awards, National SME Business Awards, put together by ASCOM. We'll be inviting our key note speakers to speak for us at this point in time. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, our keynote speaker is for all the racing, the Executive Director of Faith Foundation, Mrs. Adeyemi Adeyemi. She will speak to us on sustainable business practices, the new competitive advantage for SMEs. A round of applause for her one more time.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Abby. Great, thank you once again. I'm really delighted to be here at the 5th Nigerian National SME Business Awards. Very honored to be giving the keynote address. All protocols duly observed and the stand of the existing protocols that were earlier on outlined, and hopefully our special guests coming, and I know definitely time to acknowledge them once they come. I also would like to, I love the ASCOM Start Small, Start Now. That's it's a very inspiring, but also very strategic slogan, and I think it speaks to the essence of what ASCOM is, but also what ASCOM should be, and the role that you play within the ecosystem. For me, whenever I come to events like this, the people who are very important to me as VIPs, those who are building businesses on different fronts. You are my VIPs, you are the champions of our work in so many ways. You are the ones that hold our economies nationally, community-wise, locally. Nobody gets present like people that run businesses. And I know recently we're talking a lot about emotional and mental health for business owners because they need it. Many people more than other people that do it. And I'm also happy to see that we have quite a lot of women here. No prejudice to our men, but to love. You are home builders, you are community builders, you are mission builders. So I want to especially acknowledge our MSMEs who are here in the room. So good morning once again, everyone.
Decision and MSME can actually take view of the affordability of microinsurance for them to adopt affordable microinsurance for them to be as a means of risk management to protect themselves in the event that they experience shock. And of course, with as little as 1,500 naira, an MSME can actually be able to access to protect their means of livelihood. Or a minimum of 500 naira monthly premium payment. They will actually buy an health coverage, that will, of course, protect themselves, protect their staff, and member of household against issue of out-of-pocket, health services. And of course, an MSME with that same little amount of money will also be able to access, some kind of insurance protection that will support the education of their children. All of these are very essential in terms of support that MSME needs. What we found mostly is that MSME are not able to adopt, the coping mechanisms that MSME adopt are always very challenging. And most of the time, quite often than not, erodes their, small saving by having to deep manage their, already existing asset or saving for them to actually meet some of these challenges. Thank you.
You'll be shocked to see that a lot of small businesses do not have access to data or do not make data-driven decisions that help their businesses perform, right? So to achieve continued success in a growing economy like Nigeria, small businesses need to focus on solutions that help them stay efficient.
We are very focused on sustainability because we understand that SMEs are the engines and the main focus of any economy in any nation. So why do we talk about sustainability? There are different ways of ensuring that there's sustainability through strategic programs that it does. In SMEDA, we have various programs that are focused towards the whole MSMEs. Then we are also gender-centric and we focus on those that are mainly meant for women and youths. Some of the programs we have about 15 programs off the top of my head. We have some that are focused on those in agriculture, the textile and the likes of them. For example, we have the YSP, which is Women in Self-Employment Program, which is focusing on women that are working for themselves and trying to thrive. So we always try to identify all these businesses and look at how we can have a strategic partnership within the ecosystem and build sustainability. Thank you.
Some time ago, I was in Kigali and we were having a conversation and somebody said something that was quite very traumatic for me as a person. And he said there are two nations on earth that are very passionate about telling how bad they are, and those nations are Nigeria and South Africa. So we tell it very serious energy. And what picture does this paint out there is that nothing good is happening here. And so people are not even willing to come around to say want to do business because the way the media is structured in Nigeria only tells the bad news. We have data about things that are not working. We have data about things that are so bad. But on the good side of the country, nobody is telling it. And this is the challenge that, of course, the country is facing. So when people are thinking about Nigeria, the things that they can easily think about are the things that are not working. And this was a challenge for us. And so in 2022, we were in the UAE, and we saw the way the environment was working. It's not as if the things that are happening there, we don't have them here. But the way they are positioned in the media makes everybody want to do business with them. So we decided to also come back home and see how we can position media differently in Nigeria. That we're not just going to be talking about politicians, how much money is embezzled, but we also need to talk about the good things that are happening within the business environment. There are a lot of people who are doing excellently well. There's one woman selling amala there. It's training their children overseas. Nobody is giving them the platform to talk. So Souqnews came into existence to give platform to businesses, small and medium scale businesses, voices in Africa, so that people all over the world can see what we're doing, see your visibility, support your project, and then of course you can also become a global champion.
You walk around, you see people doing things, doing business, and you ask them if they have their business registration. You discover that someone has been doing business for a long time, for some of them 10, 15 years, and they don't have business registration. Some of them, they don't have business accounts registered in the business name, or they operate these businesses practically in their own name, and this is part of the challenges that they face in accessing finance as another challenge. Because as part of the challenges that occur when you don't have a business properly structured, access to finance also becomes a challenge for you, as you do not have credit history developed over time for people to make informed decisions on whether they want to partner with you or not. So these are part of the challenges that small businesses face in developing their businesses. Thank you.
What we have done is to actually connect financial access to digital inclusion, right? By providing the opportunity for SMEs based on, and Mr. Demi mentioned something about credit score and same myself, based on their credit score, their record keeping, and their transaction history, to be able to access some types of funding. Right, so what I would have mentioned. Right, so there's money that's accessible single digits, ranging from about 7% to 3%, starting from as low as 100,000 up to 5 million. And the best part about it is that this product initially is free to the SME. All they need to do is to register. It's called the device. They're able to establish their online presence. Photographers, barbers, small shop owners. There's no reason why they can't use technology, right, to actually formalize their business and be able to create that history, to be able to access funding that is available to them. By becoming more organized, more productive, and also more effective. So, as people in finance know, it's about following the money. usually there is criteria that is set out. And this criteria, just like he said as well, it requires certain things like coming to the formal economy, right? Taxes, business name, having a bank account. I used to have a tailor that started from absolutely zero, right? He built his business such that he had like a bungalow in front and back, several staff. When you want to pay money, it leads into his private account. Doesn't make any sense. And he's actually well spoken, better spoken than I am. So until SMEs can actually understand that about criteria, right, and it's not free money, they have to follow a process to meet these criteria, then they continue to laugh. I've been in a session with the renewable director here at the stakeholders meeting where some of the SME associations are complaining to, I won't mention development bank association, that we've seen you have 5 billion, we've seen you have 10 billion, but only 5 members have collected this money. And the representative told me that, look, there is criteria. Some of you know this criteria, you're not of that. Some of you are just too disorganized. Some of you actually qualified, but you just don't want to put yourselves in a position where you can access this money.
But I would like you to tell us, there might be 5 business plans on the table. Yeah. What makes one better than the other? What are the key things as a lender that you look for?
So, we mentioned financial discipline. One, I'm looking at for example, the requirement that he mentioned as part of the document that was submitted to me, as part of the business plan. But in reviewing all these documents, I'm looking at the financial discipline amongst all of them. Who amongst all of them is disciplined enough to? Because it shows, as you are modeling this document, it shows the plan.
Discipline? Retaining funds or less expenditure?
No, it depends. For some businesses, it depends on the nature of business anyway. No one size fits all.
Correct, but usually what are the things? It's just different sectors.
Generally, you look at how you leverage expenses, right? What do you spend your money on? Basically, it shows in the business how you expend from the business. Do you use it to solve personal problems as against destroying family businesses?
I think content they say today is king in the media. What we're doing today is that nobody's creating content for you, you're actually creating your own content. Take for example, you produce granite and you're showing on your mobile phone, for example, the process that you take to produce this granite has come to the market, and people are looking at it and they say, oh, how hygienic that you are. They're not just buying something, because you also find it. Because there are too many narratives in the social media, for example, today, people believe that there are some certain things that want to buy chips on the road and say, oh, they are using chemical to produce it. Now, this is discourages a lot of people from participating. But if you create content to show, for example, from your oil, how it's genuine.
Social media.
Social media, yes, of course.
Putting together professional to do it, or it's something that they can do, or there are courses.
Of course, the mobile phone is a television house today, really. So you may not even name a media house, for example, and you put them together on either your Instagram or your Facebook, and the word can say it, and it gets viral. Especially when the story that you are telling is so touching and has a human angle to it. And what I'm saying is that yes, for those who are big, yes, you can have somebody who is your media strategist, is going to help you design content and invest so much on it. But as a small business, you can actually create your content with your mobile phone. And most of the content that you see today that actually go viral are done on mobile phone, not on the big cameras that, of course, the medias are carrying. But what we can only do is to validate some of all this story when we also give you the platform to tell the story, and then, of course, we help you distribute to wider audiences. There are a lot of platforms, there are a lot of softwares that are available today in the space. Some of them are free, some of the lessons you can actually get. For example, if you download a Canva, for example, on your phone, it can help you aggregate your photos, your videos within your phone and produce a content. There are AI-powered tools today you find on the app. Before now, when, of course, as a radio station, you want to produce your ident, you need somebody to come voice from. Today, there are AIs who does that free for you. And those facilities are available, and of course, businesses can leverage it to actually tell their story.
Okay, so how UNAB is helping small businesses today? We're doing it in 4 ways. The very first thing is we're helping businesses manage their transactions. And I talked about efficiency in the first place, right? We are managing transactions by ensuring efficiency, automating certain things that you need to do, so that small businesses can focus on producing whether your product or creating your design as a service provider. As a result of those transactions, we are also using that to build credit profiles for small businesses. Credit profiling is a big issue in Nigeria and Africa today. Right? There was a publication outside recently that the CBN have confirmed that businesses can now have transaction histories passed along with banks, which is a great thing because it has been a major problem till date. Right? So that's how we're solving that particular part. And another thing is we're providing financial insights. Please take note, I didn't say data. Data is the raw form, right? Like I give an example within the team. I say data is your road, your pepper. Insight is the soup, right? It's the useful form of it, right? Because a lot of businesses have a lot of data, right? But they don't know how to make use of it. So we provide financial insights that you can actually use to make data-driven decisions to achieve continued success. And the last thing is, which we know is super important for businesses, is investment opportunities, right? How do people access investment opportunities? Because a lot of small businesses have stash cash that they're not using. Now, bordering on efficiency, how do they make efficient use of money that they're not using to run their business daily? And I'll border on one more thing, which is payments that you talked about. So in the digital world of today, security is a major issue. And how we're solving that is by ensuring that people or businesses have seamless and secure transactions every day. We have stuff like escrow. I'm sure a number of us must have heard of it. And escrow basically means that there's a middleman that collects the money when two people want to transact. And after the transaction is done, we pass it to who's supposed to receive it. And as a result of that, we've had a lot of satisfied businesses growing daily based on that.
MSME is the issue of accessibility to finance. And one of our flagship products, which I think I need to talk about here, is a product that actually helps to support, micro and small scale business owner to be able to repay a loan. Giving them, some kind of guarantee or support, through microfinance bank, microfinance institution, cooperative society, and all of that. I sometimes wonder each time I listen to institutions that are doing lending, talking about collateral. They are actually an insurance product that can actually help support an MSME to see them through the period of that loan and then able to repay their loan. And what we do, therefore, with that product is that we support lending institutions, we support cooperative society. All of these institutions are involved in lending so that we can support them, provide some kind of insurance that can see the customer through the period of that loan and then able to help them repay in case they fall into any challenges and they do not have the ability to repay the loan. Our product also, like I said, earlier on, cut across virtually. Even a Keke driver can actually have access to a full form of insurance. And then going to your question, one of the some of the major challenges, and I'm actually going to talk about just 3 of them. One of the major challenges, which of course, both from the supply and the demand side, is the issue of awareness. When you talk about awareness of insurance today, many people would say they don't know even micro, and that's why I started earlier on speaking about what micro insurance is actually all about. Awareness is still not, we have the fault, some of us who are the operator. Most of our strategy are, most times skewed to the above the line customer. I mean the literate and the major organization and all of that. I think we need to readdress our strategy to ensure that it also addresses some of those the BTL, that's the below the line kinds of customer, where we have quite a number of MSME. And of course also the issue of public trust and negative perception is still very much there in insurance. A lot of people still, even though there have been a lot of improvement. A lot of people still feel insurance, they do not trust the insurance company to be able to pay to pay their claim. And I tell you, a lot of people have actually been made in that regard. There are regulatory supervision these days that ensures that when an insurance company takes your risk, it must fulfill the obligation of paying claim. And should they fail to do that, there are sanctions that goes with that. And then thirdly, the issue of God forbid. I know that's cultural and of course religious belief. When you talk about, most of the time when representative goes out to go and talk about insurance, the moment he mentions death or anything, or disability that could, be a form of insurance coverage, they say God forbid. So there are a lot of God forbid, and people most times do not want to actually listen to insurance companies. People pick the product before, they stop them from, having. I do believe that if we are able to address some of these things, if we have, opportunity and the kind of collaboration that we do, especially with the like of Asborn, where we talk to, their representative about insurance as we are doing today, many people will actually see the benefit of insurance and then be able to take on a product that will help them remain resilient and sustainable into the future. Thank you.
My apologies for coming late, but Lagos is very big. But I'm nevertheless delighted to be here, and all more so. I'm happy that I also got here in time to listen to some of the very insightful dialogue on the just concluded panel. That was really very good. I'm here to deliver the Executive Governor, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu's speech, and goodwill and thank you, appreciative comments by the Special Advisor, Deputy Director General, Open State Investment Promotion and Facilitation Agency, and my dear sister, Ms. Shola Arubieke. Representatives of the commerce, representatives, obviously myself, my colleagues from the Ministry of Commerce, Industry, Trade and Investment, all here. Applaud them now. The Director General, Federal Research Institute, Oshodi, FIRO, Mr. Lawal Adekunle. The President and convener here today of the Association of Small Businesses in Nigeria, Asborn, Dr. Femi Egbeshola. Representatives of governments here present, leaders of business membership organizations here present, esteemed members of the panel of discussion, distinguished guests, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. The acceptance speech by Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu. I am truly honored and humbled to accept the esteemed award for the most supportive governor for MSMEs in Nigeria from the Association of Small Business Owners of Nigeria, Asborn. I commend Asborn's leadership for their unwavering commitment to the MSME community and for tirelessly advocating for small businesses throughout our country. I dedicate this recognition to the hard-working people of Lagos State, especially our enterprising MSME community, whose resilience, creativity, and entrepreneurial spirit drive our economy. From the beginning of our administration, we've understood just how important micro, small, and medium enterprises are in fueling economic growth, creating jobs, sparking innovation, and alleviating poverty. To create a greater Lagos, it was clear, and it is clear, that empowering our MSMEs, the true engines of grassroots development, is essential. Our firm commitment to supporting small businesses is evident in our policies and initiatives, which include expanding the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, LSTEF, providing billions of naira in loans and grants to MSMEs across various sectors, making it easier for them to access affordable funding and grow their businesses. Launching the post-COVID-19 Lagos MSME Recovery Fund, which delivered essential relief to businesses hit hard by the pandemic. Investing in enterprise hubs, business clinics, and industrial parks to foster environments where businesses can really flourish. Strengthening market access through initiatives like the Lagos State MSME Trade Fairs, the MSME Digital Marketplace, and forming strategic partnerships with private sector players. Facilitating capacity building training and mentorship programs in collaboration with local and international partners. Helping MSME operators gain the skills they need for the digitized world. Inaugurating the Lagos State Council on MSMEs to create a coordinated platform for policy development, advocacy, and support for small businesses. Simplifying the business registration process and introducing tax relief measures to lighten financial burdens, particularly during these economic times. Over the past 4 years, through the Micro Enterprise Support Initiative MESI, we have empowered more than 11,000 startup businesses, particularly focusing on vulnerable groups, women, and graduates from our skills acquisition centers. Our goal in Lagos State is to tackle poverty, is to boost wealth, and to help ease the economic challenges faced by the people of Lagos State. What is most important is that we are committed to listening, to engaging directly with MSMEs in order to truly understand their challenges and work collectively to create sustainable, impactful solutions. I want to assure you that we will ensure a business-friendly atmosphere, investing in infrastructure, encouraging innovation, and promoting inclusivity, making sure that every small business in Lagos has the chance to flourish. So let me take a moment to express my heartfelt gratitude once again to Asborn for this recognition. Your commitment to celebrating excellence in entrepreneurship is truly admirable. To all yes please, let's applaud it. To all MSME operators in Lagos State, your contributions are appreciated, and your government is firmly behind you. Let us keep working towards building a greater Lagos, one that is competitive on a global scale, economically thriving and socially inclusive. Thank you all, and God bless you. Mr. Babajide Olushola.
Yes, kindly put your word. Please come on, come on. Will you 7 up to mix and go yes or yes? Yes. Now let them know so that they can continue to. All right, please take the award to Her Excellency, and she will do us the honors of presenting.
I'm incredibly delighted on behalf of the Nigerian National Effort to present to you, on behalf of ASCON, the Nigerian National SME Business Awards. You are the winner of the SME Impact Leader Award, SME Man of the Year Award. I'm delighted to present to you Mr. Siad Madu, the Managing Director of Seminal Public Company.
Please look at the camera. So the next award.
Give me the mic, I will not let it go, by the way. Madam, thank you very much for the award. It's a great honor for me to receive it, especially from you on behalf of Mr. Governor. It's a great honor. Thank you very much. Together we make it better Lagos.
For Mr. Governor, as the SME-friendly governor, and this award will be jointly presented by our own Shola Obieke. Please come up, and Dr. Femi Shola presented this award to Mr. Babajide Souq, SME Most Friendly Governor of the Year 2025. Let's celebrate that.
Presents the Nigerian National SME Business Awards for 2025 to His Excellency Mr. Babajide Souq as the SME Most Friendly Governor of the Year 2025.
Okay.
Commissioner of the Year for Business-Friendly Reforms under the Nigerian National SME Business Awards 2025. Can you give it up to the winner?
I'm delighted to accept this on behalf of the entire, because you know, as they say, it takes many people to make a village, and it's actually a team award. So these are the Director of Commerce and the Deputy Director of Commerce, and we all work together. So it's actually our award. Thank you all very, very much indeed. Thank you.
I present to you this award as the SME Most Supported State Ministry of the Year. Big congratulations.
The Executive Governor of Ogun State, for the award of the Best Governor in Enterprise and Investment Promotion in Nigeria.
So it's an honor to present to you SME Hero in Public Service, the winner is Shola Marieke.
State Investment Agency in Nigeria State category, and the winner is Ogun State Investment Promotion and Facilitation Agency.
For small business growth in Nigeria. The winner is Mr. Adeola Emmanuel Sofela. Congratulations.
On behalf of the Nigerian National SME Business Award, year 2025, I'd like to present this SME Microinsurance Company of the Year Award to the winner, Oxy Microinsurance Company Limited. Congratulations.
On behalf of the National SME Business Award, the year 2025, we are presenting you SME Centric Television Station of the year 2025. 2025. Winner, of course, is Souqnews Television. Congratulations.
On behalf of the National SMA Business Awards, year 2025, the first SME brand of the year, and the winner is Souq.
On behalf of ASBON, I present to you this Nigeria National SME Business Awards year 2025 as the winner for Customer Choice Innovation in Business Management. Congratulations.
Are you a man of business in need of support? Visit www.asbon.org and register for free under the Nano Free membership portal today.
Join us and make a difference. Together, we can build a thriving future of Nigeria. So, be part of the Asbon Collective Impact Initiative. Please call 091-191-69773. Send an email to asboncollectiveimpact@gmail.com.
Or donate to Fidelity Bank account 5600189903.
Let's join hands to empower dreams, create businesses, and transform Nigeria together. Your support, their growth, our future.
So that's it. Let's start with me. Let's get this here. Good afternoon, everyone. Mr. President asked me to give a 10-minute speech. I'm not very good at speeches, so I'll tell you a story. They introduced me as the MD of 7-Up Holding Company, but I am the MD of 7-Up Holding Company. I'm the chairman of the Food and Beverage Recycling Alliance, and I'm the founder of a company called SME Scale. When I meet people and they ask me and I tell them my titles, they say, how lucky you are. And I look them in the face and say, guys, I'm not lucky at all. This is not luck, this is determination, this is sweat, this is 24 hours work. Now why I'm telling you this story? Because I've been working very closely with SMEs for the last 2 years. And SMEs fit within 3 categories. The lucky SMEs, starting a company is so easy. Anyone can go tomorrow and start a company. The ones that work hard and smart and maybe a bit lucky, they scale up and grow very fast. The other ones, the second category of lucky SMEs are the ones that shut down. The third and worst category in my point of view, and please guys, what I will tell you now, you might not like it, but the worst category of SMEs are the SMEs that continue 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. Because we are like, SMEs are like human beings. We are born as
babies, then we become children, then we become teenagers. I went in a coma for 1 year, not knowing what to do. I was under shock. So I moved after that 1 year. I said, enough is enough, I have to do it. I started traveling and working in the worst countries in the world when it comes to safety. I don't know if anyone worked in Iraq after the American invasion. And people say Nigeria is unsafe. There, you have a probability of coming back home of 50% every day. I had to work 9 years, getting all my salary and paying to close my debts. And big thanks to Nigeria, the last year I came to Nigeria and I closed my last debt in Nigeria. So, if we look at that journey, when I closed my company, you all were much better than me. Nobody can debate that. But the moral of the story is, when we are determined to do things, when we do it the right way, the results will come. It took me 9 years to recover, and I made a promise to myself that I want to make people avoid that experience. How do I help people not go through this and go through nine years of suffering, and it was real suffering? Better than Nigerians that I should give that back. I've been in Nigeria for the last 18 years. I never lasted in any other country more than 1 year to 2 years. I madly fell in love with Nigeria. Nigeria made me what I am. And this is what I said. I want to pay back to this country and paying back in double-sided way. One way through the economy, as it was mentioned, because SMEs are the economy. And the second way is, how do I minimize the suffering of people? Companies that struggle, based on my experience, how can I pass on that experience? Based on that, we do every 10 days a one-day workshop for 100 SMEs, where I manage 90% of the time. I sit with them, I talk with them, I joke with them, we plan together. And I categorize them in 3 categories. 1/3 come to the workshop to chop food. What do I do? They just come to eat, leave, finish, they disappear. Another 1/3 or more come there, they want their business to grow, but they want to move all the problems to me so that I grow their business. It doesn't work that way. But there's a 10%, every session I have 5 to 10 SMEs that I feel they are determined to grow. They have a good idea, they have the passion. This is all what is needed for you to grow your business. Whatever people tell you, sometimes I get offended by SMEs telling me, I'm waiting for the grant from here or intervention. I say, why the heck, you are not beggars, guys. Without money, with small money, if you have a great idea, you will get the money. Whether from BOI or from a grant or from a bank, if you have a great idea, you can do it. So the objective is not to make you better SMEs. The objective is to take you out of the SME space and go into the larger mega companies. You might say, yeah, this is the MD of the 7-Up, he can give us lots of grammar. But we have a 90% success rate with companies that are determined to succeed. A company called Mamalicious, I don't know who knows it here, they started with us a year ago with 20 million naira of revenue. Today they are making 2.2 billion naira. 2.2 billion naira. We have companies, small companies dealing with fufu, with gari, they are most interesting, but now they are repositioning all this and growing their business significantly. I'm not promoting SME scale-up because it's not for profit. So all the attendance, anything is for free. People come, attend, we guide them, they can come meet with me anytime. Only one condition, they must be determined to go out of SME space within 6 months. And this is what we are aiming for. So if you have the idea, if you have the passion, you are welcome to join us. Nothing to be paid. So, just get out of the concept that you believe you are small. Believe you are big, and there are lots of people that will help you grow there, but you have to do it. People will be there to just help you and guide the way. Thank you very much, guys.
Nano entrepreneurs makes about 85.5% of the total MSME ecosystem, meaning that we have 32.86 million MSMEs, but which are nano. And you begin to wonder, who are the nanos? Who we refer to as nanos? These are small businesses, very small businesses, the solopreneurs that most often are being run by one person, one man or woman, and then they hardly have to run. According to Sweden, their total turnover is always between 50,000 and 300,000 per annum. You can say they are indeed nano. This particular set of part of the ecosystem are not registered. Many of them are structured. They do not have access to funding, and they find it difficult to scale. So for us, we believe that for a country to succeed, it is important for every one of us in the ecosystem to focus more on the nano part of the ecosystem. And that's what we have done in ASCO. We decided that we are focusing on nano, and we take it as a decision, a strategic decision from January this year. We've been able to go to a number of markets, and what we do when we go to this market is to identify these nano entrepreneurs, see how we can uphold them. We also provide them funding, we have provided mentoring, and we support their business to scale. We also ensure that their businesses are insured. So we are now working with Groups Microfinance, Microinsurance, to ensure that they are insured in case of shocks. This will help them to sustain their business and to be able to grow and scale. In between January and now, we've been able to impact 287 different nanopreneurs. Today we invited about 10 of them to come from different sections, from Yanopaja, from Opa, from Ikeja, from Shomolo and the rest. Can you please stand up for recognition, nanos? Can you stand up for recognition? Can we put our hands together for them? Thank you so much for coming. Yes, thank you so much for coming. But the question is, can we do this alone? The answer is a capital no. It's a project we cannot do alone. We want to continue to ensure that they get the support they need. And for that to be sustained, we need government to support us. We need corporate organizations like yours to support us. We need individuals to support us. There are so many platforms that we can use to support us to keep the initiative running. One of such is identifying those nanos in your area and deciding to impact them through us. Could you like there are some other people in your church, in your mosque, in your street, or all of that, and you feel that there is need to raise them up, lift them up. Why don't you partner with Hasbro and see how we can support this? I told you I'm not going to be spending more than 3 minutes, so I'm going to watch this video. It's less than a minute. Can we have the video? We're going to watch the video less than a minute, and I will be off here. Thank you for your listening and attention. We're going to cut a cake to officially launch the Nano initiative right after the video. I am sure that with your permission, we will request that the commissioner help us to take pictures after the cutting of the cake. Can we have the cake on the stage, please?
The DJ representative, please join us. Thank you.
All right, we'll be very fast. I would like to, first and foremost, can we give Asbon an outstanding round of because I was listening to what you were saying, and quite frankly, this is the core mandate of the Ministry of Commerce, Cooperatives, Trade and Investment. So on that note, and on behalf of all of everyone here on the stage here today, I will say, and may everyone, every business, I like that term, I'm going to be using a solopreneur, continue to thrive and evolve into an entrepreneur. And on that note, can I say, after 3, shall we say after 3? Can we all say, after? On that note, or after 3, can we all shout? I haven't said 3 yet. 1, 2, 3.
Well, thank you very much indeed. My name is Stephen Kola Balogun. I happen to be a lawyer, and should I call myself a pseudo-politician? Not quite a politician, but I've served in government before, and I'm delighted to be here. Well, thank you very much. Well, yes, is it my family or the wider family? I mean, like I said, I'm the son of Chief Dr. Kolawole Balogun of blessed memory. Like I said, he was a former politician, a frontline politician. He was the General Secretary of the National Council of Nigeria and the Cameroons, later National Council of Nigerian Citizens. He was the General Secretary of that party for about 8 years. From there, he was appointed by Souq to become a federal minister. He was initially a federal minister without portfolio. Consequently, after that, he became acting minister for labor, social services, and then he became Nigeria's first federal minister for information in 1956. He held that portfolio till 1958. Thereafter, he resigned from government. He had this agreement with the party. And Tafawa Balewa felt that he was a useful politician that could be sent to Ghana. And he went to Ghana to find out what was. Because Ghana was a bit ahead of us in terms of politics at the time. I think it's fair to say they got independence just before us. And Tafawa Balewa wanted someone to understudy to find out what we're doing. So he sent Kola Balogun there. Initially, he was commissioner, and later, when we gained independence in 1960, he became High Commissioner. Shortly after that, when we became independent, he yearned to come home. He wanted to take part in the new political atmosphere at the time. He asked the Prime Minister to relieve him, to let him come back, and he did come back home. And immediately he took up the position of being chairman of the National Shipping Line. That was a position he held on to until the military struck in 1966. But even then, when the military did strike in 1966, he still continued. I think General Debayo of blessed memory invited him to join his cabinet, and he served as a commissioner for about 3 years or more. I think he was commissioner for health and was commissioner for education. Later, he also became chairman of this sketch group of companies as well. And that was about it. I think after his stint in government, he decided to go and do a PhD at the University of Ibadan. And then he went back into private legal practice. And then he started this agitation for the creation of Osun State. He and a few others set up the movement. He was the chairman of the movement. And then to the glory of God in 1991, Osun State was created. And that's it.
Tell us about mommy.
Well, yes, my mother. Well, in those days, the women once were not so much in the forefront, But my mother has been my bedrock. She stood by me, and she has backed me in most of the things I've set out to do, And she's still alive. She's 89 this year, and she's still doing well, and she's still
and your wife
going
and
strong.
The kids?
Yes, my children. Yes, I have 3 girls, 3 daughters. My oldest is 31. She studied at King's College London. She did reasonably well. She got a 7th class upper. Proud of her. She's an art curator today. And I have twin girls as well who are also in university now, that they haven't graduated yet. One of them is in Oxford University. She's studying history and politics. And the other is in Cambridge University. She's studying human, social, and political sciences. So, yeah. I did. My father, Chief Kolawole Balogun of blessed memory. Yes, he was in the first cabinet in the First Republic, the first ever cabinet Nigeria had, and he served as the Federal Minister of Information and Research. As a matter of fact, he happened to be Nigeria's first information minister. Later, T.O.S. Benson, of course, became the independent Nigeria's first information minister, but independent Nigeria. But Nigeria's first ever information minister happened to be Chief Kolawole Balogun of blessed memory. No, I didn't. I took an opposite route from my father. My father went into politics immediately after he finished his education, and then he now ventured into law a little bit later. I decided to look at things differently. I thought that after academics I should practice law a bit, and that's what I've been doing. But at some point, I think that was in about 2011, I was called upon to serve in the Osun State government as a commissioner, and I took up that opportunity, and I enjoyed myself. Well, I am in the sense that I'm 65 years old now, and I think it's fair to say that we belong to, well, I would say the first set, but one of those who benefited from Nigerian education. I schooled here. I went to secondary school in the West. I went to the University of Ife, went to the Nigerian Law School. And I think it's fair to say that all the schools at that time were of high quality, produced top quality students who went on to make names for themselves, not just here in Nigeria, but also abroad. I think we still do that now, even though the standard of education has dropped. The sad thing about it is that Nigeria could have been a lot better in terms of the potential, because Nigeria does have a lot of potential. We do have very brilliant young men and women, and I just think that if we had invested more in education, that we could have, the sky would have been the limit, actually. Well, my take on this is that it's the system of law itself. As a young lawyer, I experienced a few challenges myself, and I think one of the obvious challenges is the appeal structure. It's too easy to appeal against judgments. At the same time, when you file actions in court, there are no penalties for costs. In other words, I can file a frivolous action. I could insult you, as an example, and then you could sue me. And I say to myself, well, I'm going to eke it out. I'm going to take it. You're going to have to take me all the way to the Supreme Court. That doesn't make sense. That's not fair. On the other hand, I could also file a frivolous application against you. And then, filing a frivolous application, I could call you something you are not. I could defame you. And in so doing, you expect at least that once you prove your case, that I will be made to pay the penalties for filing frivolous applications. But that doesn't happen. And then, of course, the conditions of the judges. I mean, the judges are still writing longhand. They do trials, they sit there, they listen to witnesses, give evidence, and they have to write all these things down longhand. So there's so many challenges that has hampered the progress of law. And there hasn't been enough investment, I must say. Well, I agree with that, and I'm going to give an example as to how that I think we could possibly do that. Now, the Supreme Court hears everything. It's the final court in Nigeria, so they're going to hear issues related to criminal law, civil matters, constitutional matters, as you know, all these matters that's got to do with elections, so on and so forth. As a matter of fact, when we have an election cycle, the legal system slows down because the judges are hampered. They're too busy listening to the various appeals from the various states and the federal government to do with the elections. So as a consequence, the other matters to do with shipping, banking, criminal law are put on the back burner. I think we need what you call a constitutional court, whereby which the judges in the Supreme Court are divided. So you have those judges whose responsibility it is entirely to deal with constitutional matters, and then you have another set whose duty will be to deal with shipping, banking, civil matters, criminal matters, and so on and so forth. So I believe it's high time Nigeria has a constitutional court to try and aid the Supreme Court with the workload they have, which is, quite frankly, quite a bit. Well, Nigerians, with respect, are very brilliant, very intelligent, and they are very aware. It doesn't matter who you are, whether you're a tailor, you're a driver, you're a lawyer, engineer, they are quite well informed. And the truth of the matter really is that this is the longest republic we've had. This republic started in 1999, and this is 2025, so 26 years. Nigeria's never had a republic this long. But the main flaw is the one you just mentioned. The fact that that constitution that was bequeathed to us by the military in 1999 was never really approved by the people. That doesn't make sense, and that's unfair, in fairness. We ought to be able to look at the constitution, improve upon it, and put our own input into it. Now, there's a way around that, and I've always believed, many people oppose this, but I'm of the view that what Nigerians need to have is a referendum. Have a referendum to ask the Nigerian people whether they want to persist with the 1999 constitution, or do they want to drop a new one? If the answer to that question is yes, we want to drop a new constitution, then that puts paid to the 1999 constitution, and then you can now have a system, a constituent assembly, whatever the case may be, where people will sit around the table and fashion out a new constitution. If the people say no, that means they've indirectly approved the 1999 constitution, and then we continue with it. But what we can't do is continue having this debate, these arguments as to whether the 1999 constitution has been approved by Nigerians or not, because it has not been. So I think the way around that is to ask the Nigerian people through a referendum, asking them whether they want to persist with this constitution. If they say no, then we have a new one. If they say yes, we continue with the old one. And that ends the debate. Every system has its merits. Every system has its advantages and disadvantages. To some extent, the presidential system of government has an advantage. It has the advantage in the sense that it has brought government nearer to the people. So the people of Osun, from where I'm from, for instance, now, have their own state. Same thing can be said, it's been replicated across the country. However, the drawbacks, the disadvantage is the fact that it's extremely expensive. Now, look at Nigeria, for instance, now. We have 36 state governments. So that means we have 36 governments in Nigeria. If you add the government of Abuja, if you add the federal government, that's 38. Now, each one of these governments have some form of legislature, judiciary, an executive as well, local government, civil service. It's too expensive. Look, in America, where we borrowed this system from, the states came together to form a union. This is totally different. We are doing it the opposite way. So we've had a structure that we're now going back. So at the end of the day, many of the state governments are still dependent on the federal government. And as a consequence, the kind of progress we ought to be making, we're not quite making it. So I personally, and this is a personal view because others would disagree, I would prefer that we reduce the size of government by having some kind of regional structure. And I believe that that will reduce the burden of governments. And if we can reduce the burdens of government, we can use this money to do many other things. And I also think it will also improve standards as well. Not just standards of government or parliamentary standards or whatever the case may be, but there'll be less people involved in the political system. And that would help us a great deal. Well, I think it's fair to say that since 1999, we haven't had any new state creation. I know there's been agitation for the creation of states, but there hasn't been any. The process for creating a state is quite cumbersome. It's not easy. I think it's in Section 8 and 9 of the Constitution. I don't think it's something we should be looking at. I think, like I said to you earlier, I think we should be trying to reduce the number of states, and I think some kind of regional structure whereby which we can monitor better what's going on rather than having more states. So I personally would not encourage the creation of more states, no. In the 1950s, we had 3 regions, if I'm correct. Those regions were the West, the East, and the North. We had the colony of Lagos, but if I'm right, I think it was the Macpherson Constitution, I think it is, I'm not too sure, that now put Lagos under the Western region. Now, when Lagos was placed under the Western region, lots of people were not happy about that. I remember my father was in the NCNC. The NCNC people were not particularly pleased. Neither were the NPC. Because they felt that Lagos belonged to everybody. Like you said, lots of people from different walks of life, different tribes, different backgrounds, and all schooled. I mean, Zik schooled in Lagos. He went to MBHS. So it was the issue was sent to London to arbitrate. I think it was Oliver Littleton that arbitrated over the matter. And it was decided that Lagos should stand on its own, that Lagos should not be merged with any of the regions. And that was how Lagos was able to free itself from the shackles of the Western region. It's fair to say that the position of the NCNC was actually argued in London by my father. That's why I'm quite familiar with this. But talking about Lagos, when the military, after that, we had what you called a minister for Lagos. I think there was Ribadu, and I think there was one other person, but I think it was Yaradua, not the same Yaradua, but his father. And then later after that, when the military struck, they created the state of Lagos. So the issue of giving Lagos special status has more or less been taken over by events. Lagos is a state, and as a state, it's still home to different people with different backgrounds, from different tribes, and it's thriving. I think it's fair to say that Lagos is probably the most prosperous state in the country, and it's just a question of its continuing with good governance and improving the strides they have made. Once again, let's go back to the past. We had what we used to call the House of Chiefs, wasn't it? And in those House of Chiefs, many of the members of the House of Chiefs were people who were traditional rulers, chiefs from different backgrounds, and they had a say in the running of the affairs of state. It's like it was more or less akin to the House of Lords. So it wasn't necessarily the chamber whereby which the activities of day-to-day governance took place, but they could always refer issues to them. And I think that if we change our structure of governance, and if, that's a big if, then yes, we can have something like that. We can have a second chamber, which is more or less advisory in nature, similar to the House of Lords, whereby which we will have obas and chiefs and people of influence who will be able to advise government from day to day from of the experiences and the way forward, but not necessarily binding. I think that's important. Their decisions won't necessarily be binding on us, but at least they'll be able to share their views and experiences with the people. That's a big issue. I was commissioner for youth in Osun about 10 years ago under Rauf Aregbesola, and it was an issue we took quite seriously. In Osun State, we had quite a number of youths who were unemployed, and the governor thought, what can I possibly do to give them something to do, to keep them employed? So he created what we call the Osun State Youth Empowerment Scheme. Now, under the State Youth Empowerment Scheme, unemployed youths were given particular tasks in state. Help us sweep the roads. Some were part-time lecturers. Some were doing all sorts of things. They were given a stipend. It wasn't a full-blown salary. Well, the salary, although the stipend was enough to keep them to be able to buy things, to be able to buy themselves drinks and food, and kept them occupied until they could find themselves a job. And I think the federal government could follow that kind of scheme, set up a youth empowerment scheme whereby which unemployed youths are given things to do. There's so many things that need to be done in Nigeria. There's so many gaps whereby which the youths can help do that. In the interim, while they find themselves something more gainful or something more permanent. So it's a question, it's for government to do. It's for government to think of a way of helping out the youths. And of course, there should be partnerships, a partnership between the government and private enterprise to try and encourage them to take on more of our youths, and not necessarily those who have schooled abroad, who they think are probably the best in terms of employment. No, we have many here who can do a good job as well. Sustaining democracy is about discipline. It's about the people being disciplined. It's about those who rule us being disciplined. I started out by telling you that this is the longest government we've had. It's the longest republic we've had. We've had democracy now since 1999, 26 years. If you go back to the days of independence, there's been no republic that has been this long. So it shows that the people have embraced democracy. They've come to it's part of us now. They've come to enjoy it. Yes, there are hiccups in terms of the fact that we could do a lot better in terms of how we implement things. But in terms of the people yearning for democracy and imbibing it, I think we've done very well. And what we just need to do is just to try and perfect it. One of the ways, like I said much earlier, is to perhaps take a second look at the Constitution, see where areas where we can improve, and try and make people happy, and at the same time reduce the cost of governance. But I don't think democracy is going anywhere. I think it's here to stay.